Hey, welcome to Bears Banter. My name is Bernard Muhammad. Tonight on the broadcast is Keith Flournoy, also known as Plank, Guy Moore, Jay Beasley, Mo Cross, and I want to say happy Founder Days to the men of Omega Psi Phi.
Thank you.
Hey, how y'all doing tonight?
We good. Good. I'm good. Bernard, you stole my thunder because I wanted to start the show off by giving y'all props. Happy Founders Day.
Happy Founders Day, gentlemen.
To all the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, especially EB. I want to start the same yard. I want to start the show off with that.
And why is that? Because it's your hop, baby.
You know what, man? Real quick. A lot of people don't understand that Western Illinois is like the HBCU of the North.
They don't know. They don't know.
They sleeping on that. They don't know.
They don't know. They don't know. I actually attended a real men's read this morning at a school out in University Park, and it was some alphas there, and we trying to get some Q's there.
Okay.
And we tried to get some Kappas there, but we did that today. And I was telling one of the alphas, he was like, such and such, I was like, y'all just don't know. Western Illinois University is the clique.
Is the plug.
They don't know. They don't know. So yeah, so shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to EB. I love you brothers for real.
Hey, you
take 19 days to get out
Reverend Neil.
He's
Omega. He actually does a reading program.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm trying to remember the name of his church. Is
Greater Light. I think it's Greater Light. Ooh.
Yeah, like Greater Light Community or something. But he does, and maybe I'll try to connect y'all, and because he goes to a lot of schools.
Yeah, for sure.
Glorious Light Church.
Glorious.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
And I've been to the service, man. It's lit.
Okay.
Mo, where you go, bro?
Yeah.
See, y'all, we talk more than football. He's
back and still black.
What was that the Mark Chin just said? Hey, Mark.
He gave the name of the church.
Yeah, Glorious Light. Yep.
Glorious Light.
Yeah, that's his guy, man. That's one of his guys.
Hey, you know what? Let's do a real quick review of some NCAA stuff that has been going on. I know we working on getting a show soon on that, but some things that happened this year that we haven't had a chance to talk about. I guess one was the Herm Edwards firing, which was I think
you played to win the game. I'm sorry.
I know it's been a while, but I mean, any of y'all have any thoughts on that, on how that went down? Not necessarily the firing, but the way it went down, from what I understand, was some of his coaches were leaking out tapes in an effort to get him fired. They was leaking. I shouldn't say tape, leaking out game plans and stuff to get him fired. I mean, you have anything on the Herm Edwards firing?
You know what it is? I think it's probably less football and more so like, that gladiator that's been going years and years. And then at the end, he think he's still a gladiator and he's not. And it's no disrespect to him, but a lot of coaches that start getting older, that's been in the game for a long time, you get the newer batch of people. The coaches that are older, that last, are the coaches that are able to adjust to this generation. And a lot of these younger guys out here look at him like, yeah, dude, okay, yeah, you nice and stuff. When did you play? 1974? And guys having a younger contingency has that mentality. But then you see the top coaches who are as old, if not older, you look at how they coach, and it's completely different. But in his situation, though, man, it's like it could have been. I've seen instances where other coaches were given the benefit of the doubt. It's almost like a conveyor belt. It's like, oh, you got a blemish, go. It's sad, but
yeah, I see. Mark Chan said Herm is out of touch with the young players, young dudes. And let's move on this. I'm swag. You ain't who? If I ain't swag, who is swag?
Look, that dude is a deep. Coach Prime is like that pretty girl that come out on the yard, and every last one of y'all chasing him. Nobody gonna necessarily get him because she already got a boyfriend that she loved. I think that Deion Sanders at any institution would be a dog. But the thing is that I love about it is the fact that what he's doing at Jackson State, and people think that he's defecating on the other teams. No, he's not. He's bringing a focus back to HBCU. When was the last time we saw as much news about any HBCU schools? And it ain't just Jackson State. It's Grambling. It's all of them. It's because Coach Prime has a presence. And the thing is, he's an anomaly because he's probably, in my opinion, the greatest cover corner I've seen as far as that's concerned. But he comes back to coaching and turns out some dogs, man. I love what he's doing. I just hope and pray that he does like an Eddie Robinson and just stays there for 20, 30 years, man. Because I'm telling you, HBC, you're going to see a whole lot of these kids in the draft now.
Hey, Jay, you swag, right?
I can wish.
Right,
yeah.
It is Christmas.
Yeah, I was at the corn.
Christmas is coming up.
Yeah, I was at the corn. I was at the corn for a couple of years, man. So yeah, the swag is cool, and like Guy said, Prime is bringing notoriety, which is the big thing, which is what the SWAC needs because the SWAC got some good players, man. And I remember my freshman year, I want to say it was 87. Our whole secondary got drafted.
Wow.
The whole secondary and the nickel got drafted that year. Wow. Some of them panned out and some of them didn't, but they all got drafted. Right. So the SWAC puts out some players, man, and they don't get the notoriety that they should. But the SWAC, they put out some players.
Okay. Yeah, Bernard, I got a comment about that ties back to Herm Edwards firing as well as Deion Sanders, and what I attributed to is loyalty. Herm Edwards had his coaches that were leaking out information and telling on him as soon as he turned his back, and that's what actually tore up his whole program. Versus Deion Sanders, he's already rich, he's already famous. Everybody knows he's a Hall of Famer, and he's gone out to do something a little bit more, which is leave a legacy for his kids to follow and for other black people to follow. Right. So Deion Sanders, he's already talked about whether or not he's going to actually leave Jackson State. It's based on whether or not he's offering more money, and he's doing it not for himself because he's already rich, but to take care of all of the coaches on his staff. Yeah, so I think loyalty. That's extremely important.
That's loyalty.
The thing about that is too, if he can do that and he recruit these kids that actually want to go to the Alabamas and they want to go to the Tennessees or the Kentuckys or the Georgias, if he can bring them into the SWAC, all it does is make the conference a lot better, man.
And the young man to get an education too. Imagine that.
Deion has charisma. He does. Good swag about himself, and a lot of the young guys can relate to him. So especially, and it has a lot of the D1 coaches. It got them jealous. Because y'all remember when earlier before the season started, Nick Saban, said his name and how he's paying players and blah, blah, blah. He brought up a few other coaches. But it's about his charisma and his swagger. And you see he got the number 1 two-way player to come to his school.
That kid is a dog, man.
And he claims next year, because a guy asked him, man, are y'all ready for the Alabamas of the world? He said, no, not right now.
No, not yet.
He said, they got hogs on their line. He said, we don't yet. But he said next year and the year after, he's like, yeah, y'all going to be looking for us. Because I guess he got a good recruiting class coming in. So he's ready.
Hey, that's a shame.
Hey, you know what? Well, you mentioned Alabama, and what we haven't heard this year is Roll Tide. I haven't seen that on social media this year.
Funny how that works.
Look, man,
what happened to Alabama so far this year? I mean, Alabama is ranked 8.
Yeah, so let me throw this theory out here because we was talking about this at work. Alabama still might make the playoffs.
No, they're not.
The reason I said this is because I said the same thing, but one of my coworkers broke it down. So he basically said, we see the top 4. You got Georgia, you got Ohio State, Michigan, TCU. TCU is not respected. So if they can even be on the outs, even if they stay undefeated. The winner of Ohio State, and Michigan guaranteed to be in the playoffs.
Right.
And then you have Georgia, who's pretty much guaranteed to be in the playoffs. So Tennessee and LSU. LSU has 2 losses. Tennessee, they lost to Georgia. They beat Alabama. So Tennessee will be that 3rd seed. And if LSU loses, don't be surprised if Alabama sneak up in there, man. Because a lot of the teams, they don't respect them. Even though these guys only lost 1 game and no games, they don't respect them. They'll leapfrog them just because of their names.
But you also got USC. You also got USC.
Yeah, they 9-1. They 9-1.
They only lost 1 game. So,
let's bring that in.
You gotta take
I'm
into
gonna tell y'all
accountability of who Alabama lost to.
Good point.
I'm gonna tell y'all, if Alabama make the Final Four, it's a conspiracy.
Yeah, I'm done watching college.
You acting like you didn't know it was a conspiracy.
It's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy. There's no way with 2 losses at this point that they should even be considered.
They shouldn't even be number 8.
They shouldn't even be considered.
Because they lost to Tennessee and LSU, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's bring that in. Let's see what's going on. Hold on. I'm on the wrong slide.
Y'all see that USC and UCLA trying to get into the Big Ten now, or
That's terrible for college. You got 97 teams in the Big Ten.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
And they all the way on the West Coast, man.
And they all the way on the West Coast, right?
Because I'm gonna tell you right now, in the conference they in now, they could be great, but let UCLA come here like November, December in the Midwest, where it's like a wind chill of -3 degrees,
like it is right now.
Where you from? You've been out in LA, you've been out in Southern California, you sitting out there in the wintertime, and it's like, wow, it's a little chilly today. It's 71 degrees, and you come into some minus stuff, man.
Does anybody remember what Nebraska was before they got in the Big Ten?
Yeah,
Nebraska had nothing but dogs.
They did.
And now they're getting beat up by Northwestern and Iowa. I can't understand it.
Yeah. So let's look at the top 10 rankings as of today. You got Utah, which is 8-2, ranked 10. Clemson, that's surprising. Clemson is 9-1, but they rank 9th. Alabama is 8-2. USC 9-1, they're 7th. LSU is 6th, 8-2. Tennessee, who actually one of the people who beat Alabama, but I'm trying to remember who did they play the following week. I believe that. Hold on, who did they play? And I was like, wow, looked like a total different offense. They couldn't even move the ball. Georgia. When they played Georgia, I mean,
there's a reason.
Georgia's
a
reason
why
a different animal, man.
They could even get first downs in that game.
Yeah.
TCU
Georgia is a different animal.
Is ranked number 4, 10-0. Mo team, Michigan.
Yeah.
Go blue.
10-0. Ohio State J team.
Bring the noise. The noise.
Number 1.
Wait, are they playing at the Big House this year?
Right now is Georgia. Hey, how do y'all see this playoff playing out as far as is I know some
No, they're at the Horseshoe. No, they're at the Horseshoe this year.
Okay.
They're at the Horseshoe this year. The way I see it playing out, the way I see it playing out, Ohio State gonna beat Michigan. Ohio State gonna beat Michigan. They're gonna stay at number 2. Georgia ain't gonna lose a game. Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all something. The Georgia Bulldogs, they some dogs.
Lose another game?
No,
is that what you're saying?
No, they're not gonna lose a game.
They're
not gonna
You
lose.
know why? Because they mad. Because you win the national championship. You come back and Alabama's ranked in front of you. They pissed off.
But I think what's gonna happen. The Final Four is gonna wind up being Georgia, Ohio State, Clemson, and Tennessee.
Clemson.
Because Michigan is going to lose to Ohio State, they're going to drop like 5 or 6.
Hey Mo, what you have to say about this here? What Mark's saying? Mark said beat Ohio State.
All right.
What you guys say about that?
That's all we gonna score 17 points.
Mark outside, starting fights, boy. Mark just said, "Knock this off my shoulder."
Oh my God, man!
I don't know about that, Mark. I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that, man.
Georgia is a whole nother animal,
Georgia
man.
is a different animal.
They're in the class by themselves, man.
I think they dogs. Georgia is the dog.
Yeah. They're in the class by themselves, man.
Let's put it this way: Georgia would play a fairly decent NFL team and lose, but at the end of that game, they'd be like, "Man, these dudes right here, I don't want to see none of the dudes that they draft in the first round." You know, they got a whip, man.
Agreed, man.
Yeah, so Mo, how you think it's gonna play out as far as playoffs? I know Jay just gave his synopsis.
Georgia, Michigan. I think Tennessee gonna squeak back in there, and I honestly think it's gonna be 3 SEC teams. It's gonna be LSU, or they gonna sneak Alabama in, man.
Also, Ohio State ain't gonna even make the Final Four. Is what you saying?
Nah.
Come on, man.
Nah, brother.
Well, hey, whoever wins between Michigan and OSU is gonna knock the other one out the pitch anyway.
Yeah,
right.
They gonna play. They gonna play the Big Ten regardless, man. They only want one Big Ten team in there, man.
Hey, I'd like to thank everybody who's tuned in tonight to Bears Banter. We're just doing a quick college football synopsis before we jump into the Bears game. Hey, Plank, how you got any synopsis on how you think this is gonna play out as far as playoff?
You know what? I'm thinking the winner of Michigan and Ohio State should be voted to number 1. Forget talking about Georgia, because you know
I don't know
they both kind of dogs at that point. So I'm waiting to see how it's gonna play out, actually. But you know, as a former Michigan person, I'm a little bit concerned because Ohio State has been beating them like they were somebody's daddy, like they stole something. Well,
not last year,
man. That was last year. That was last year.
Michigan State was slapping Michigan around too. So
as long as you got the crown right,
I'm not convinced by Michigan just yet. I'm not convinced. So we're gonna have to see.
State don't got defense, man.
Hey, what about you guys? You got anything?
None at all, brother.
Georgia, Ohio State, Tennessee, and LSU.
Okay, I digress. He said Ohio State ain't got no defense. Wow.
No. None at all, bro.
Hey, let's see how.
Hold on, man. Mark said Mo Man must be an old school Blackstone talking that rock boy stuff. We over here on that other growth and development tip.
Hold on, wait, stop. Mark, I'm calling you out. Come on the show because we sick of you talking smack on the sideline.
Man, come on.
Come get the game. Come get the game, bro.
Come on, man.
We waiting for you.
We need you, man. We need you, bro.
Right.
That's all in fun too, bro. I ain't calling you out like
that. We just call them on.
Hey, please hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Subscribe to Bears Banner. Hey, let's look at the NFL as we move into week. I guess it's week number 11 now, right?
11, yeah. My how time flies. Week 11, just like that. Yeah.
Hey, any y'all have any games of the week? My game of the week is, hold on, what did I write down here? I got KC and the Vikings.
Cowboys
and the Vikings.
Cowboys and the
Vikings.
Oh, Cowboys and the Vikings. I'm sorry. I wrote down something. I'm starting to believe the Vikings might be real this year. No. I don't know why, but that's my game
the playoffs yet, man.
Yeah, that's the game I want to see. The Cowboys and the Vikings. That's my game of the week. Anybody else got a game of the week?
I was gonna say that one. I'm going with the New York Jets and New England Patriots.
Okay.
I'm with you, guy.
Yeah.
The Jets and the Patriots. The Jets kind of slapped the Patriots around last game. Mm-hmm. Let's see what Belichick talking about. So let's see what we got.
Well, my game of the week is the Vikings and the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, Bernard. It's a facade, man. It's a facade.
So?
The Vikings are not real. Green Bay beat Dallas last week, and it was like one of them things.
Yeah.
Where it was that week. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. Y'all saw what Green Bay did last night.
They look.
It's a facade. I'm telling y'all, the Vikings. When people say you are what your record is, not the Vikings.
Not the Vikings.
They are not an 8-1 team. They are not an 8-1 team, and I'm expecting the Cowboys to win that game.
Hey, but you know what? The Green Bay Packers are who they are. It's like
say it again.
I said the Green Bay Packers record is who they are because
they like us. They like us.
But here's the funny part: the receivers running the wrong route, Rodgers missed. The receivers run the right route, Rodgers missed. Like,
hey, Rodgers was trying to pull a Larry Bird and throw them passes left-handed. That's the only explanation. Because he was terrible.
That Larry Bird's a pitcher.
Well, Plank, as you always say, Father Time.
Undefeated.
And Father Time with Aaron Rodgers is undefeated.
Yeah,
because he looked bad last night.
And Father Time,
he looked bad last night.
Hey Mo, you got a game of the week, Mo?
Seeing as though everybody took Dallas and the Vikings, man, I'm a roll with the Chargers versus the Chiefs. I just want to see, because Justin Herbert has been crowned the new, at the beginning of the season, the new up and coming quarterback.
You're right.
So his weapons, I guess his weapons are supposed to come back this game. So we'll see, what he does against Mahomes. Because remember last year, Kansas City squeaked that win out. So we'll see what they do.
Okay. Yeah.
2 for 2.
Oh, it's time for 2 for 2. Hey, what y'all have for 2 for 2? Your top 2 NFL teams and your bottom 2 NFL teams.
It's getting ugly now, man. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't even know who to pick. I don't even know who to pick no more. So, but if I had to put a bottom 2, if I had to pick a bottom 2, I'm still gonna put Houston down there, and the Raiders.
Josh Allen. I'm going a little bit different.
Josh McDaniels. Yeah, okay. So my bottom 2 will be the Raiders and Houston. My top 2, as much as I love Buffalo, I can't put them up there. I can, but I can't. But I'm still gonna go with Kansas City. And this week unfortunately, I'm gonna go with Dallas.
Okay.
You know who I got? My top is I got Tennessee and Tennessee, and I'm trying to think. I'm getting a brain fart right now. Tennessee and Kansas City, but my bottom 2 are the Raiders and I love saying this, the Packers. Ooh, that's like therapy, man. That felt great.
My top 2, I'm going with Kansas City. They still earned it. Yeah. And number 2, Philadelphia. Just because they lost this week, I don't see why they should be removed. They got a little bit stronger with Ndamukong Suh. Robert Quinn is out there in Philadelphia stealing money, Jay.
Stealing money.
Hey, you know what? I was looking at this. Chin was saying, I got Corey Hearn. He went to the game last night. Other night, he said he sat in the end zone about the 3rd row. He's a Packers fan big time. He said Aaron, his toast arm is shot and he's not focused. Man, he's high. When he lose, what is that? What was it? He comes up. Well, I was taking whatever. He probably doing it 3 times a day, like after each meal.
Big time.
Right. Hey, so my bottom 2 are the Texans and the Raiders, and I know how I had KC and the Vikings. Actually, those were my top 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
This week, I'm gonna say the Vikings are real. I'm not saying they're real for the Super Bowl, but I'm just saying they're real this week.
No.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm going with bottom 2, Vegas and Houston. It's crazy. I gotta say Vegas because they got all that talent. But then my top 2, I'm going with KC and Philly. Philly got a lot of talent, and they putting it together.
Yeah, they do.
But you know what? The best thing that happened to Philly was that they lost. Because now it's like they got the loss out the way. They could be scary, man.
Yeah.
Remember,
bottom 2 is still Detroit. Detroit's the bottom 2. And I'm going to be controversial. I'm going to put the Vikings in the bottom 2 because Kirk Cousins wants to throw us the ball. Trust me. That's the same guy. We keep thinking he's different. He's the same Kirk Cousins, but they never won a playoff. Same guy, man.
Man, he looking like Vanilla Ice this year, man. He iced out the games with his shirt off.
Vanilla Ice had how many hits?
How many playoff games?
Yeah, but he has his shirt off after every win. He has his rope on, and he got his glasses on, and
What's that?
Yeah, but let's say.
But I don't understand. I don't understand how people. I don't understand how people don't see the Vikings do this every year. They do it every year, and at the end of the season, they are what they are. They're the Vikings, and people. I just don't understand why people don't see this. Yeah. The Vikings are who they are.
Yeah.
They are who they are.
You ready to start something, Mark?
Hey, but you know what? But you know what? That's a good analogy with Vanilla Ice, because when I think about him, I don't think about the hit. I think about when Suge Knight had him hanging by his ankles, like, making him sound. He upside down like this. I was up from 9 to 5. That's what I remember.
You know, last point on this, and then we move on. What do y'all have any opinions on? I heard y'all mention the Raiders. I saw a press conference where I'm trying to remember their quarterback name.
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr was really breaking down in his press conference. I mean, it was kind of disturbing, man. You know, the level. I mean, did y'all think of anything like that? To me, it looks like it's in turmoil, you know, but he was just breaking down about he's just tired of losing.
I do, because you know what? There's so many guys on the NFL roster right now sitting up here looking at phones, when this game gonna be over, or we suck, or we gonna do this. But you get some guys that come in like them. You know, it's a lot of guys that actually really care, and they put their hearts, their bodies into this, man. People sit back and watch them on TV like, you should do this, you could do that. Oh man, you just said them dudes put their lives on the line every time they walk on a football field. And I have a guy knowing that he had his receiver in college to come here thinking he's gonna do something great. And you got guys that surround him doing this and doing that. It's disheartening, because he putting his life on the line and y'all tricking off.
I'm just gonna say, though, bro, I don't know that actually makes you play better.
What?
You know, we keep subscribing to that trope that you got to be all in every play, and you know, give up women and don't go out and all that other stuff. I don't know that makes you play better.
You don't, but if you look at the guy next to you, you can tell if the dude ready to play or ready to be on some stuff. How?
To me, that
I test.
The bottom line to me with the Raiders, if we just specifically talking about the Raiders, the bottom line to me is coaching.
Yep.
Josh McDaniels is not a head coach.
He can't coach.
You have too much. It's too much talent on this team for y'all to be 2-8, 2-7, whatever they are. It's too much talent on this team. It's coaching. Some people are good offensive coordinators. Some people are good defensive coordinators. Yeah. Some people cannot head coach. And Josh McDaniels is not a head coach, especially if you're not going to be a CEO where you're going to delegate your duties. And that's not Josh McDaniels. Your pride and your ego is going to get to you, and that's what it is with the Raiders. They got too much talent on their team to be.
I'll buy that.
They record is worse than the Bears, and I would take the Raiders roster over the Bears roster any day. Outside of the quarterback, I'll take their roster over our roster any day.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Dude is not a leader of men. He's a good play caller. He can't call it on the field though. It's like he needs to be up in the box and seeing what's going on the field, or he needs to look at the film. He's not a good leader of men. You can't. It's no way possible. You got all this talent, man, and you can't win more than 2 games. Like, come on, bro.
Well, my argument is he a good play caller? Because the only team he's ever done that with is the Patriots.
And the Patriots never had really.
Hold on. I'm gonna say this. When Garoppolo was there, they did have a winning season. And remember last year with Mac Jones, he made Mac Jones look okay.
Was Belichick still there?
He won the world beat. Yeah, but Belichick is there now, and the New England Patriots look like pedestrians. They look like the has-beens.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so hey, let's move to the Chicago Bears. We just came off a loss of Chicago Bears.
Another one.
31-30.
Another. We starting to sound like that rapper. DJ Khaled. Another one.
The Bears lost 31-30 this past weekend against the Detroit Lions. basically we had missed the. As a matter of fact, Mo had mentioned earlier this season. I just thought about that, and I know it was a monsoon, but Mo had brought up that Santos had missed 2 field goals in that game. I think it was 2, right, in the 49ers game.
Mm-hmm.
And you say, "Hey, I'm a no-nonsense guy, and we're gonna need those points." Something to that effect. I mean, Mo, what you thought about that when you he missed the extra point?
I mean, as soon as he missed, I'm like, I hate to tell the guys I told him so, but that's how I go. I called out Komet being our best weapon besides Fields. I called out Jenkins being our best offensive lineman, and I called out Santos. I mean, the man, I don't know, man. Like, you got one job. And this time it wasn't no rain, it wasn't snow, none of that. The man just missed, dog. So, hey, man. I mean, overall, yeah, we know the defense is trash this year. But come on now, bro. You at least kick the extra point, bro. Like,
you know what? Yeah. That one argument about the defense is trash this year, Bernard put something out there that put things in perspective for me. The defense was just as bad last year with all of those high-paid players that we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
They gave up quite a few 30 and 40 burgers.
So I'm going to say this about last year's defense. The offense wasn't as potent last year because eventually your defense is going to wear down. We don't have the Baltimore Ravens who can carry, you know what I'm saying, a team throughout the whole game. It's like, man, the first half we keep it competitive, but we can't put points on the board. So it's like the second half, man, they worn out. They just run it down our throats. You know what I'm saying? Whereas this year, whereas this year, we just don't have anybody. I mean, Eddie Jackson's playing hard. We got the 2 rookies. I give them the benefit of the doubt. They're rookies. You know, your boy Vildor needs to just be gone. He needs to be scrapped. But what he's doing is he's giving us a draft position. So I like Vildor just for that reason.
First of all, Vildor was hurt the last couple games. He's actually having a decent
Vildor has actually played pretty well this season. I'm surprisingly, he's actually played pretty well. So I'm not going to even say that. But the bottom line with our defense, no pressure on the quarterback.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. And you know what?
That's where our secondary is being hurt because we have no pressure on the quarterback.
Right.
We have no pressure on the quarterback, and that's what's hurting this defense. Yeah. And as long as you don't have no pressure on the quarterback, your defensive backs are going to be exposed, whether they're good or bad.
Can I ask y'all this real quick? So going back to college, if we got, let's just say we got the number 2 pick in the draft, first round. Who would you guys go? Would y'all go for the tackle? Would y'all go for the best player? The tackle.
I would go for
the best player.
I would go for the best available.
Because the best available defensive end or pass rusher is at Alabama. He's a dog.
Yeah.
So would you?
I would go for the best. Yes, absolutely.
Or would you go for the guy at Northwestern, the tackle who only allowed 2 sacks for the whole 4 years?
Nope. I go for. I would go for
the talent.
I would go for the defensive end. Yes,
and it's easier, and it's much easier for you to go for the best available player because you got $150 million worth of cap space next year.
And we got a whole lot of field anyway.
Yeah, we got $150 million worth of cap space, but will there be good free agents next year?
And see
every year. I mean, almost.
See, that's the thing. People keep saying the Bears got a lot of cap space. Yeah, it's not a whole lot of good free agents coming out this year.
No, so what you looking for?
Ryan Poles got a hit on the draft. He has to hit on the draft.
Larry Obenjobi or whatever actually is having a really good year this year with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, so he is.
If that didn't fall apart with the Bears, that would have been him making a difference in the Bears and give us an interior line push.
Agreed.
So we have about 4 or 5 picks too. We got a first round pick, a second round pick, like 2 fourth round picks, something like that.
We got 8 picks.
8 picks.
Yeah.
Once he make the picks, he could wheel and deal, man. He could get out there and
I think four of our picks is in the top 100.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So
you solve a huge situation with that.
Mm-hmm. But if we wind up, if we wind up ending up in the top 5, and I know we going off script because we talking about something totally different. If we wind up in the top 5 or the top 6 or 7, hey, let's see if we can trade down to get a couple of number 1s because we at the point where we don't need a quarterback, and a lot of the teams that's picking. A lot of the teams that's picking in the top
quarterback
5, no, not necessarily. Houston really is the only team that's looking for a quarterback. If you go with everybody else that's in the draft, everybody got their quarterback. They just ain't got nothing else, just like us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
you can't tell me Detroit
we got our quarterback with Justin Fields. We have a lot of ups and downs. They're
the only one.
We have criticism and we have praise at the same time. I know Plank just pointed on the before we started on air, some comments made by Shady McCoy. What did he say? Plank, do you want to share it?
Yeah, he basically was talking about Justin Fields can't throw, and he's a good running quarterback, but he looked at the statistics and said, "Oh, here he is. He's 12 for 18 throwing for 125 yards." I said, but he threw for 2 touchdowns, and he wasn't talking about the game against Detroit. He was talking about the game against Miami when Justin Fields actually had a very efficient game from a passing perspective. So a lot of people still believe they're a little lazy as commentators and they don't do their homework and they just go out there based on what other people have said before. And that's slowly but surely starting to finally change with Justin Fields.
But think about this. I'm
sorry, guy, real quick.
Go ahead, brother.
Can I say one thing about Shady McCoy? Shady McCoy got 2 Super Bowl rings. And guess what? He ain't playing neither one of those games. I ain't trying to hear nothing. I ain't trying to hear nothing. I ain't trying to hear nothing Shady McCoy saying. Nothing.
Yes, you're right. And you know what? And here's the
I digress.
About it. A lot of those guys, I hate those guys that, and I mean, his numbers are nice, though. I mean, he's got a lot of different accolades and stuff, and he was a dog, don't get me wrong. But by the same token, a lot of them guys, once they get into the broadcasting side of it, some of them almost like they to throw stuff to the wall and see if it stick. You ain't going to get no Pulitzer Prize, dude. It's like, you're putting something out there. You're doing sometimes like what a Stephen A. Smith does. They just say something just so out there to whereas if there's a 1% chance that it happens, they can pop their collar and say they say so. Now, if Justin Fields goes out and figures out in maybe the top 3 or whatever and MVP for the season, they're going to be looking at him and he's going to be mad. They ain't going to want to talk to nobody, man. Forget Shady. That's why his nickname's Shady.
You know what? The difference there is you see the commentators that were former players. You can tell the difference between the guys that were athletes versus guys that were student athletes because they still put in all their work and they know exactly what they're talking about and don't just count on their athletic ability. Like Shady's doing. He don't know what he's talking about.
You put him in a room with Michael Strahan, his head will blow up.
Ryan Clark. I know Ryan Clark actually likes Justin Fields. But anyway, a couple of weeks ago, I actually criticized something that Ryan Clark said, and I had a disagreement with a guy and he on Facebook about it, and he was like, well, he was a former NFL player. I was saying Ryan Clark was giving lazy analysis on that particular video that he showed. I'm like, those lazy analysis, just because a person used to be a professional, that doesn't mean they know the sport, or if they were on that side they wasn't on that side of the ball, that doesn't mean they know what they're talking about. Shady was a running back. That doesn't mean he know anything about quarterback play. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Quarterback he played with, but that's no knock on Ryan. I was just bringing that up as an example that sometimes we forget that those professional players, there is just opinion, just like we have opinions. What you have, Jay?
I'm gonna tell y'all something. What I've learned watching the analysts, the ones that weren't like top 10 all-stars, Dan Orlovsky, people like that are the ones that have the better analysis.
They sure do.
Because they actually students of the game. Yep. They wasn't athletic enough to be like the QB1 or wide receiver 1, but they are the ones when you look at their analysis, they actually bring something to the table. You be like, okay, yeah. But you got guys like Orlovsky and there's somebody else I'm trying to think of. And his name escapes me. But those are the ones that I listen to because I'm like, yeah, they students of the game. They wasn't athletic enough to be the guy, but they students of the game because they are students of the game. They tend to lean more into what it is that that the player is doing.
You ever notice that too? Real quick. The guys that you just mentioned right now, what they do is they'll give their synopsis on something what they didn't like, but they'll look at it in a pretext of saying maybe like sometimes if they look at it, the play just didn't work. They can say, okay, the play didn't work. It's not on the guy. But LaShawn McCoy is stuck in a perpetual doggone wheel route. That was one of their go-to plays. Yep. A lot of guys like that. Now, I'll tell you a guy, y'all gonna laugh, man. There's a guy that actually is giving some analysis, and I'm looking at him like, dang, he was a coach. Dave Wanstead. Dave Wanstead. We ain't talking the coaching part, but when he sits up and gives an analysis, I'm like, man, I wish he could have did that when he was coaching us because he sounds great, So
that means you got to be pretty smart. You got to be pretty smart to carry that clipboard.
And the guy I'm thinking of is Brian Baldinger. Yeah. Brian Baldinger brings some analysis where you be like, oh my God, this is actually pretty darn good. Yeah.
Good.
But Brian Baldinger was a pretty good. Brian Baldinger was a pretty good offensive lineman too. So,
but did you see Orlovsky when Orlovsky at the beginning of the year? Orlovsky was talking about Justin Fields, and all the stuff he was talking about is happening now. So
it's coming to fruition.
He just sit back in the chair most of the doggone program. We talk about Justin Fields. Oh no, you go ahead.
That's the same thing I say about stats. Sometimes is you have a lot of people who read stats, but they don't have interpretation of stats. They just read the stats and say this is that. But within a stat in sports, it should be able to tell a story. So I just use, for example, tackles. Tackles in the NFL is one of the most misused stats in probably history. Because the statisticians, when you even read the report, they tell you that sometimes they don't even know who made the tackle. They just give the tackle to sometimes the person who most likely made the tackle or the person who is
closest
most tackles.
His jersey was dirty.
Especially if it's not, if it's a pile up, right? Sometimes they don't know who made it in the pile up. So players know that, so they go stand by the pile to get credit for an assist. So that's why in football, I always say tackle stats have its place, but it's still one of the most misused stats because people will like to just read those stats, but sometimes they don't read into it. And that's why, people get mad at me early in the year when I was talking about Roquan stats and stuff like that, because on defense, are you tackling for loss, right? Those are stats make a difference. Are you tackling down the field, right? And even though you could tackle a guy and you push him out of bounds, that's a tackle. That's considered a tackle. But realistically, you didn't bring him down. So it's a whole lot of analysis in sports that when you look at stats, you have to sometimes look at the game to understand what happened, because even with quarterbacks, you have quarterbacks who are great fourth quarter quarterbacks. They get all their stats when the game is over. When the team is in prevent, right? Then you look at their stats, you be like, if you didn't see
the Rivers,
right.
The Rivers,
400 yards in blah 3 touchdowns and blah. Guess what? He threw that when they was in prevent defense and the game was over. So stats have to be where you're watching the game. But as far as moving into this game with the Falcons, I seen the Falcons play the other day. And that's
the last time they played against the Carolina Panthers on Thursday night.
Oh,
I couldn't even watch it. I couldn't even watch it.
Awful. That was
couldn't even watch it. It was awful.
But you have Mo.
Look, y'all can talk crazy about the Falcons. But the Lions played awful too before they played the Bears.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's like at this point right now, I'm not really too like I'm gonna critique the game, of course, but it's like, man, do we really want to win, or do we want to keep that draft capital high?
See, Mo. Okay, Mo. Okay, Mo. Okay, Mo. I'm finna go into this. I understand what people saying about the draft pick and all that, but let me tell y'all something. It's still all about winning. I have no problem with the Bears winning the game that they should win.
Right.
That's my thing. The Patriots, we beat the Patriots, we beat the 49ers. Those games we wasn't expecting to win. But anytime you anytime you lose to a team that you should beat, I have a problem with that. And that's my thing.
But
it's not
technically
the draft pick.
We beat these teams though, because I'm saying on the point.
Are the Bears better than the Lions? Is this Bears team better than the Lions?
Yes.
The reason I said I don't know is because both teams are rebuilding. Like you can't expect both teams are rebuilding, bro.
The Lions been rebuilding since 1955.
I mean, but at the same time, the Bears just did an overhaul. You know,
all I'm saying is
overhaul. You got Claypool, yeah, he got the talent, but he don't know the plays yet. So
all I'm saying is to me, there's no such thing as losing for a better draft pick. To me, there's no such thing because we already know we're picking in the top 15. And I'm just throwing it out there, the top 15. So what's the difference between 1 and 15 in this draft coming up and the needs that the Bears have? None. The bottom line is the Bears need to win games that I feel that they should win. Like and last week's game, when you were up 14 points in the fourth quarter, that's a game that you should win. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
is that win last week gonna put us closer to winning the division? No. But it's a win, and as a team, that carries momentum. That's all.
Jay, one of the things I do want to point out, Jay, is you have to worry about developing a losing culture.
Right.
That's it. That's it.
Even when you rebuild, you do need to win the game that you should win. Now, the thing I think is in question is how bad are you, right? Because sometimes, we look at the bad teams and, right now, can we say we're better than the Lions? Right now,
we can't say that now.
We can't say it now because we lost to them. But you do have to win those because the thing I didn't really like under Nagy more than anything was I saw a losing culture being developed because the last 3 years, they had 5-game losing streaks.
Right.
And that was uncharacteristic of the Bears. Even if the Bears have had bad seasons, you didn't have these consistent lose. You might have had like lose 2, win 1, even with 5 and 12s or whatever those seasons might have been. So what we developed the last 3 years is a losing culture. And you do have to worry about that, and you have to make sure your quarterback does not succumb to that, right? And you'll have him. Reason I brought up David Carr, then you'll have your quarterback crying in the press conference because he's kind of feeling defeated. But hey, let's look at this here where we have the Bears and Falcons week 11. Wow. 3-7, 4-6.
World beater.
The Bears offense, man, I don't know if this been since Jay Cutler and Mike Marks have the Chicago Bears offense been ranked 21st. I don't know if we made it that high since that time. If anybody remember, let me know. The Bears offense is averaging 21.7 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
The Falcons offense is ranked 27, averaging 23.2 points a game. The Bears defense, believe it or not, is still ranked 15. They had got up as high as 12, but they only fell to 15. And they're giving up 24.7 points a game. And the Falcons defense is ranked actually 31st, and they allow
3 times more.
25 points, only 0.3 points more than the Bears. Okay, what y'all think about that?
Hey man, stats can be misleading, ain't that what you just said?
Exactly.
Not over time.
Especially with our defense. So, like I'm looking at it as as a Bears fan, my heart says crush the Falcons, and do what we do because they can't stop the run. So let's do what we do. Let's run it down their throats. Let's hope that Chase shows us something. You know what I'm saying? Like I know he got talent, but it's like, please, just I hope he's learning these plays, man, so we can get him the ball. And I want to see the players who are supposed to be good play good. I'm not really worried about the one and dones, man, the replacements. I need to see Chase play good. Hill's doing his thing. I need to see now that we got Khalil Herbert out. I want to see what
Jones supposed to be in too, isn't he?
Right. Let's see what Velus Jones do. We saw him, a couple of blunders earlier, but let's see if he really can make some noise, man. I need these players to actually step up, like at least show some potential, man.
So Velus Jones, I believe, is going to bring out kickoffs because Khalil Herbert went to injured reserve. I mean, what do the Bears need to do to win this game? Because these teams, as far as how they move the ball, is kind of similar. They both teams that run, and if I heard this stat right,
running quarterbacks.
That what's his name? Mariotti? Is that how you pronounce it? Mariota. I think clocked as the fastest player when he's running the ball in the NFL. I think that's what I heard. Not on the 40-yard dash because it's net,
with the ball.
Because they actually have a
next gen stat.
They have something in the ball to be able to clock how fast a player is running, and they say he actually is the fastest runner with the ball in his hands. That's interesting.
Hey, Amazon Web Service got a lot of features in there, so they calculate all kind of stuff real time.
Stats can be misleading.
Stats can definitely be misleading, but I'll make Marcus Mariota. I mean, he was a second pick in the first round, so it's not like he's. I mean, that was a while back, but it's not like he's not a
bum.
Man, Mo, don't kill me, man. Don't kill. Hey, like my man said, don't kill my vibe, man. Don't kill my vibe. Don't kill. Kitchen the boss said, don't kill my vibe. But hey, Mariota. That stat exists, but at the bottom line is watching him a couple of weeks ago, he can throw you the ball. He will throw you the ball. This dude tried to attempt to pass off his back last week.
He did.
So I'm expecting the Bears to show up. I'm expecting them to show up.
Okay. But now you asked what we need to do to win this game.
Their defense is awful. I mean, their defense is actually 31st. Plank.
Yes, they
so
are.
What do we need to do to win this game? First thing we need to do is, it's going to sound like a broken record, stop the run. Atlanta has a very good running game. Kadero Patterson is a big back that's tries to knock people over. However, he never actually hits the hole, so he just on his own thing every time he runs.
He's useless.
Nobody in the stadium knows what he's going to do. Number 2,
wide receiver playing back.
Yeah,
wide receiver playing back.
Number 2, we need to protect the quarterback. So we got to finally start taking advantage of and building Justin Fields' ability to throw out the pocket a little bit better. He's doing a great job. He's going to his 3rd and 4th reads. We got to get a little bit more of that just to develop him to get him better for next year. And lastly, we need to, this is going to be interesting, finish the game. Because it's all well and good that we get close and we got a really close margin of defeat. Forget that. We have to finally get in the point where we have the ball at the end of the game and we score on our last possession. That shows
that's all I'm looking for
as far as the Bears.
Yeah.
And last thing I want to say, Too bad Herbert is hurt. Ebner, he looks shook, man. Every time I see that young man, he looks like he's trembling.
She was saying, but not you. I'm sorry, no, but Blank, you were saying that, and I still know I didn't see that from him.
Dude, I see that every time he gets out there. He looks shook, man.
He looks like he's not ready yet, man. It's like the game moving too fast.
It's like it's moving fast. Yeah. It makes him look like he's scared when he runs.
It's a confidence issue.
Well, the funny thing, they had an interview with him today on Channel 7, and he said, well, yeah, I am a little nervous. I was like, oh! That's what I'm talking about. Don't do that.
That's the time when you're really supposed to be a liar.
But I'm gonna tell y'all. If N'Keal Harry is out this week again.
Yeah.
Again, he's out, and it's almost like, okay, we did give the Patriots a draft pick for him. We need to see what we got. I want to see Harry, Claypool, Mooney, and Cole Kmet in a wide receiver in a play action pass play to see what these guys can do, because we need to start thinking about the future. We need to start thinking about the future and what these guys are going to bring. It's really, really hard when we just can't get everybody on the field at the same time to see what we got going.
Right.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is Pedersen and St. Brown should not be part of our future?
Definitely not, bro.
Hey, so Mo, what do you think the Bears need to do to win this game?
I think what they need to do is, a couple of points that y'all hit on, but I think they need to do is run quick outs, run a few two-step drops, have Claypool run a couple of slants instead of just out and go, but just run a couple of slants. We know Mooney can run routes. We've seen him do it before. We need to get Kmet the ball more. I really think Kmet will be a top 3 tight end in the coming years. And as far as on defense, stop the run. Try to put pressure on the quarterback. Somebody just show me something. Like I said before, I just want to see the players who are supposed to do good actually do good.
Hey, Mo, that's a good point about quick outs and releases, because last week in the game, there was at one point in the game where they actually clocked Justin Fields at holding the ball at, believe it or not, 4.7 seconds. That's a long time.
And now, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. That could be a
product of them spying and saying we're not going to sack them, and we're going to try to force them to throw from the pocket. So that could be a product of that, to have that much time on a few plays. I don't quite know how he had that much time on a few plays for them to clock that, but I'm assuming that's what it might have been.
You got a good offensive line.
But because
Jay.
No, I was just saying, because we playing against the Falcons, I really think that Gessie should come out and throw a little bit more this game, because the bottom line is, like I said, we 3-7, 3-8, 3-7, whatever we are. We need to like you say, Mo, none to lose. We need to get out and try to throw the ball down the field and see what we got, because we know we can run the football. We know. We the number one rushing league in rushing team in the NFL, so we know we can run the ball. Right. But I want to see them open it up a little bit more and let Justin Fields throw the football.
Mm-hmm. That's a great point. Hey, let's look at this here win and losses.
Whatever. I'd have fell behind.
So we have Jay actually still leading the pack, right?
Cut it out. 5-5. I ain't leading nothing. Jay actually 500, 5-5. Guy 4-6. I'm 3-7. Tammy 3-7. Oh, Tammy couldn't make it tonight. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. Plank 3-7. Christian 4-6. Mo, did I got you right at 4-6? That sounds about right.
Supposed to be, well, yeah.
What you mean you supposed to be? What you mean you supposed to be?
I'm supposed to be 5-5 too.
Okay. I missed the game on him, and I just kind of plugged a number in for sure. I wasn't sure on one game what he had on that, so I'll change that.
Hey, honest system, we get a bro 5 and 5.
It's all right, man. You know,
hey, long as on the team, you know. Hey, guess what? Long as he say 7, long as he say 7-3, I'm all right.
No, we question that, right?
Hey, I forgot to answer. Get a chance to answer what I think the Bears should do. Okay. Everything that y'all say, I would like to see them play the way they played last week for about 3 quarters, like the 3 quarters, without the interception, without the missed field goal. They were able to move the ball. One thing I like to see them do on the very first play, throw a bomb. Next thing I like to see them do for all them kids that didn't go trick-or-treating, take some of that candy, put it in the microwave, put it in Velus Jones' palms, and let him do like this. So the ball, here it comes, it's going to stick in his hands.
But you know what, guy? I actually think Velus Jones will be really good in this position right now.
I think so.
I really think if they put him on the field, because I was listening to the score and I was listening to ESPN. They was like, Velus Jones get on the field. Well, who's going to sit down? Well, ain't nobody got to sit down because Herbert is out. So you just elevate Velus Jones and see what happened. I'm not saying get him carries out the backfield. I'm just saying he's another body. I'm not saying put him in the backfield. No, I'm not saying that, Mo. I'm just saying he's another body. He's got speed. Put him on the field and let us see what happened. Let us see what happened. I mean, he's been on punishment long enough. He's been on punishment long enough. Let him get on the field and see what happens.
Take away some of Pettis' targets, man.
Absolutely.
And let Jones do his thing, man. And then
not even Pettis. St. Brown. Not even Pettis. St. Brown. St. Brown.
To me, St. Brown is a gadget style player. Like you have to run end arounds, reverses, and all that. Velus Jones is faster than St. Brown. So run those same plays that you will run with St. Brown and just let Velus, just give him a shot. Because
the bottom line is
St. Brown's parents didn't teach him how to play football because his little brother looked like he could fall.
Because the bottom line is all I hear about EQ Brown is he's a good blocker. I don't need my wide receiver on the field to be a good blocker.
Well, you talk about shots
and help the line.
But you talk about shots in St. Brown, he looked like he drinking St. Ives.
I'd like to thank everybody who tuned in tonight on Facebook and YouTube, and please hit the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. So we're coming down to our predictions on who you're going to go with in this game. Everybody ready, or you got a couple of more points you're going to discuss about?
Just let it go.
Hey man, we 3-7. Ain't no points. We ain't no points. We
3-6, man.
Oh man,
30-29 Bears.
Hold on, what you got?
30-29 Bears. I ain't got no if, ands, rhyme, reasons. 30-29 Bears.
What you got, Plank? I saw you raise your hand.
Okay. Actually, the only games that we've been winning this year are games that are against a quarterback that was picked in the same draft against Justin Fields. Unfortunately, we ain't got one of those guys this game. So I'm going to just take out on Mariota. I think I got the Bears 28-24.
Okay. Anybody else got? You know what? I don't even know. I've been going back and forth. I've been wrong all year.
Wait.
My record's the same as the Bears, but I don't know when I got I think the only one I was right on was the San Francisco game, but I don't know. The Bears, I just don't have no faith in them right now.
It's hard, bro. It's hard. It's hard on the yard. It's hard on the yard. It's hard on the yard.
I'm going to pick the Bears 28, the Falcons 27.
Hey, all right.
You still went with him. Still went with him. Well, I'm going to take the Bears. I'm actually going to take the Bears this week. I leaned against it. But I'm going to take it. Yeah. I leaned against them, but I'm going to take them. 28-24.
28-24. Okay. Jay.
I got the Bears winning by 2 scores. I got them. Yeah. I got the Bears.
Ooh, I like that.
31-21 Bears. Because check this out. Remember, they were up 14 on Detroit, and then they just
Absolutely.
unraveled. I think
the refs start cheating.
I hope, that's true. I hope that they watched film and said exactly what you said, man, and play well all the 4 quarters. You know what I'm saying? Don't turn the ball over, because that was Phil's fault, letting the ball float over his head. Pick 6. Look, if we don't turn the ball over, we win that game. So
I agree.
Let's just keep it consistent, no turnovers, and do what y'all do, man. So I got the Bears by 10, man.
Jimmy Red has the Bears winning 24-21. Okay.
Yeah, the Bears also got to get right back to the hits principle. There's no way we can give away that many penalties.
Right.
We've been having some questionable penalty calls the last 2 games, so we got to get back to our discipline and win that battle as well. I mean, then I think we got a better chance to pull out a W today.
Okay. So
and then not only that, real quick. Not only that. We on the road, but the Bears in Atlanta, so it's gonna be some. There's gonna be some Bears fans there.
They got a lot of people traveling again, like in Dallas. I can see that many Bears fans travel.
It's a difference because people go see the Bears play in Atlanta, don't even go to the game. You know what I'm saying? It's like they go to Atlanta and kick it. All they care about is what's gonna happen afterwards.
Hey, Mike Quick said last week, stay y'all butt at home. He's like, anytime y'all travel to take
anytime y'all travel, they always lose. Yeah, he did say that. Mike did say that.
So Guy has the Bears winning 30-29.
Wow. Woo. Go ahead, baby.
Plank has the Bears winning 28. I'm sorry, Plank, I missed your score. 28 what?
28-24.
28-24. I had the Bears winning 27. I'm sorry, 28-27. Jay has the Bears winning 28-24.
Oh, man, Plank got the same score.
There you go.
And then Mo has the Bears winning 31-21, right?
31-21, yeah.
I was going to say 2-0, but y'all wasn't going to take that,
No.
That's not acceptable. So, hey, as we get ready for this game on Sunday, it's a noon kickoff. The Bears and the Falcons, the people who going out there to Atlanta definitely bring back us a victory, and we appreciate that, so we can at least go and win one of these road games and beat a quarterback that was not in our draft with Justin Fields.
Wait, how has Tammy not hosted us down in Atlanta this weekend?
Right.
How did that happen?
Right. She's supposed to be cooking us some caramel cake.
Coffee cake, right?
We supposed to be sitting back relaxing.
That's why she ducked out.
Back relaxing.
I tell you what, if I'm in Atlanta, I ain't eating no cake because I'll be just like Robin, Morris, and all the BGs.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get on, and we're gonna have to get on Tammy about that. Because you're exactly right. You're exactly right. This game is in Atlanta. We're supposed to be at Tammy's crib, barbecuing and eating caramel cake and doing all that good stuff.
She couldn't show up. Don't give me that.
Tammy got tickets to the game.
See that? That's even right. We supposed to be in Atlanta kicking it right now with Tammy, but it's good. It's good, First Lady. We love you.
And Atlanta has the best halftime show outside the stadium. I'm gonna take some names off, but last time I went to Atlanta, I drove past City Hall, and a particular contingency of people there were twerking on the stairs.
Oh my God!
I
sound like Magic City.
No, you don't. Blank. Trust me. A certain contingency of people.
No.
You're being Ace Ventura, the Pet Detective. You see it.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
No, we good. We good.
Okay. All right. So thank you everybody for tuning in today. So see you 30 minutes after Sunday game with the post game show. Peace.
All right.